Presentation step. Now you're done with everything before. You went through the pain, you went through the investment, you went through the money, you went through the decision. Now you want to come to a proposal. Now you want to come to do the presentation. Whether you set up a different meeting, or you most likely want to set up a different meeting. Don't do a presentation right there. Collect all that information and then tell them, okay, great. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my office. I'm going to sit with my team and we are going to compile all that information you shared with us, and we're going to tailor and customize something that best fit you. Do you have your calendar handy so we can schedule an appointment perhaps, let's say next week? Would that work? Okay, great. Notice what I said. Do you have your calendar handy? I want you to start using that language. You have your calendar? Okay. So the worst thing you do is like, yeah, send me an email and then we can agree on a time to meet. Please don't do that. In networking events, I have people to schedule appointment with me to call them, okay, right in the event. I don't wait to go back and then call them and send them an email and then play the phone tags back and forth. That's waste of time. Right there and then set up an appointment for the next meeting. Would next week work? What day will work best? Thursday or Friday? Friday, okay, perfect. At what time? 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock, I'm busy. How about can you do 1 o'clock? It's okay to say you're busy. You're not always available. Even if you are available, say that you're busy at that time. Do you have another time that's available? Lift your standards, lift your value up. Okay. So now you scheduled a time for next week. Now you come back, you come to the office, and you talk to your team members, you talk to your supervisor, you talk to your manager, you talk to whoever you need to talk to, and you put a nice proposal that fit the budget, fit the pain, and fit the and make sure that addresses all the decision makers. Now make sure that the presentation will only and only addresses the pains that they mention to you. Do not bring up any solution for anything else. So for example, if your panel for home automation also does have voice, like Alexa, like have voice, and they didn't mention that, they didn't care for it, do not sell them onto, don't tell them, oh, this one does also have a voice automation. Do not say that. And I'll tell you, here's the reason why. Because if I want to go to a store and I want to buy, let's say I want to buy a blender. Okay, I want to buy a blender. You know what a blender is, right? So you just drink smoothies. Yeah, you buy a blender. And then I got the blender, and then the salesperson telling me, oh, guess what? This one is also a juicer. A juicer is different than a blender. A juicer, you put carrots, you put vegetables, all that stuff, and it juices, gets the juice out. The blender, it just, cuts everything very thin. It happened that I have a juicer at home. I already have a very nice juicer that I paid money for. So I don't need something that does the same thing that I already have. And in my mind, if I'm paying for a blender and a juicer at the same time, that means I'm paying extra money. Or whatever money that I'm paying for that blender / juicer together, the money is going for both the blender and the juicer, which means I'm paying for something I don't need. Everybody following the logic?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So for that purpose, do not bring up, even if your product has something very nice feature, like Alexa, let's say, you say like, okay, turn lights off. This is a very nice feature, but they didn't bring it up and it's not important to them. Here's how you bring it up later. After you go through the 3 pains or 4 pains, whatever pains they told you, now you will ask them, hey, quick question, Murtada. Is having a voice a command, is that important to you? If they said, it's nice to have, well, guess what? You will have this in this product. It's included. Boom. Now that's a surprise. That's an added bonus. But if you asked them like, is voice automation important to you? And they said, no, not really. Okay. You move on. You don't say that it includes it. They can discover that later on their own. That's fine. But you don't bring it up. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Okay, good. And we call this do not paint pictures in someone's, do not paint your own picture in someone's picture, in someone's portrait. Thank you. Okay, do not paint your own picture in someone's portrait. So they have a specific portrait that they want to have in mind. Do not come and tell them, okay, well, you should put, a tree over here, or you should have a house this way, or draw it this way. Do not do that, because that's not good. It breaks rapport with your prospect. Okay, so in the presentation step, here's how you start your presentation step. Now you come up with the proposal, you go, and now you're having the next meeting. You're having a virtual meeting like this. Okay, so when they come, of course, you always want to start with the pre-verbal agreement. Okay, the pre-verbal agreement is like, hey, thank you for being on this call. I have 1 hour here scheduled for this meeting. Does that still work for you? Great. In this next hour, I'm gonna share with you the proposal that we came up with based on the needs that you shared with me, and the budget that you shared with me. And I'm glad that your wife is here, being part of the decision. And by the end of this meeting, you got probably a couple of options you can take. You can say one that doesn't work for you, and that's okay. Would you please feel comfortable at any time tell me that's not going to work for you? Okay, great, thank you. On the other hand, if this works for you, then we can just tell me what you want to do next, and we'll move forward with the next steps. Does that sound okay? Great, thank you. All right, so now before we start, Mr. Prospect, between last time we spoke and today, has anything changed? Why do you ask that question?
To know whether something interrupt the discussion or affect that, or something change.
Exactly. So, for example, what could be an example of something that changed? For example, maybe the ultimate decision maker said, "I want to go with this brand," for example. Or it could be like the budget got cut in half, or maybe something. It could be maybe someone else came with a proposal that they put on the table. And by the way, in the decision step, this is important. You want to ask a question: are you talking to someone else, or is it someone else that you're looking into, or considering doing business with someone else as well? You want to support it to ask these questions. Why? Because you said, yeah, I'm shopping around. Now you need to go dig deeper. So what would be the factors that will help you make the right decision? Is it the price? They tell you it's the price, it's the quality, whatever they tell you. So now you need to make sure that you have these factors in. Okay? So you need to ask these questions like, so who besides me are you talking to? It's okay to ask these questions. It's important. All right. So has anything changed? Now you know if any. It's no changes. Okay, great, no problem. Perfect. Moving forward. Now the next step is you want to summarize the pains from his pains. So summary of the pain. We call it the pain summary. Oops. You want to do a pain summary. So okay, Mr. Prospect, I understand that you're having some challenges with the design for your house. You're also we're frustrated that you're having multiple panels around the house. You need to make sure that it's only one panel rather than multiple panels. And the third thing that you mentioned is you want to make sure it's easy. Basically, one press of a button, and then everything is turned on or turned off, so that it makes it easy for everybody in the house to be able to use it. Did I get that correct? I'm going not okay. I'm a dummy. Okay, did I get that right? Yes, you got that right. Perfect. Or they can add something to it. Or you know what? I heard about the thing that voice automation thing. That do you guys have that? Well, let's wait and see. All right. Now you know if there's something else being added, but you want to summarize the pains before you start your proposal. So now that you summarize, and why that's important when you summarize the pain, you connect them with the pain. You connect them with the reason why they want to do business with you from the first place, and you're building rapport. Basically, they understand that you understand their pain. Everybody understand? Yes? Hello?
Yes.
Are you guys tired?
Yes, we understand.
Yes, yes.
Good?
No, not
Okay.
tired. No.
All right, good, good.
We are
Yes.
liking actually.
All right, perfect. I just checking, just checking. All right. So now I'm gonna go after I summarize the summary. After I go through the pain summary, now I'm going to go into each one by one. So pain one, pain two, and pain three. Regarding pain one, Mr. Prospect, which you talked about, which is okay. So now I summarize all these pains. Okay. So they told me, did I get that correct? And they said, yeah, you got that correct. Okay. Which one would you like me to start with first? Oh, I want to start with the multiple panels. Okay, great. Here's our solution with the multiple panels. In our system that we're creating for you, it's only one panel, okay, that you're going to be using, and it has this feature that's going to give you this benefit. So in what here you want to address feature and benefit, okay? So pane one, feature, benefit. Okay? So in order for us to address the frustration you have with multiple panels, so in our product, it's going to be one panel, okay, and it's made from this, this brand, so that you'll be able to get this benefit within, one press of a button. You'll be able to get everything, on or off, even if you're remote, even if you're not at the house. So does that solve this problem? From 1 to 10, 10 being the highest and 1 being the lowest, where are you right now as far as this will be a good solution, solving this problem for you? And they'll tell you, okay, this is a 10. Okay, great, 9. Even if it's a 9, 9 is okay. Anything 8 is on the average. Anything less than 8, like 7, you need to address it. You need to ask them, so what would it take to be at a 10? Or what would it take to be at a 9 if you are at 7? Well, because I want not just be able to do it remotely and have one panel, I also want to make sure that, I don't know what about home automation. I'm just making things up right now. So, but, they'll tell you something like, oh, I want to be able to, sing a song for me before I go to bed. Okay, whatever, right? I'm just making things up. So now you say, okay, thank you. And you note it and you put it down, you note it down, you put it on the side, and then you come on to the next one. Okay, regarding pane 2. Pane 2, you said about the design. So the design, here's what we are proposing. We're proposing this specific design. You saw the picture of it. In this design, you'll be able to get this benefit that is going to fit with the walls and the tiles that you told me, your wife told me about. It's going to fit nicely. So from 1 to 10, how do you feel about this solution? Does that satisfy your solution? Does satisfy your request or your expectation? And they tell you, great. Okay, so I'll take that as a 10. Okay, perfect. Thank you. So pane 2 is done. And now I'll do the same thing with pane 3. Okay. Why is it important to tell them for each pane from 1 to 10 if they satisfy the needs or not? Why that's important?
They get the inside feelings that they are getting the proper solution or the proper product.
That's right. Good. What else? Why else? Why else?
Most important, I believe, we have two-way communication, which is related to weight. Because if you are keep asking and talking alone, it's a useless.
It's useless, and they're gonna be, remember the monkey mind. It's gonna be all over the place. She's thinking, oh, did I take the chicken out of the freezer this morning, or who's gonna pick up the kids from school? Okay, so you want to keep them engaged, and that's how you keep them engaged. Pain, feature, benefit. Does that meet your expectation from 1 to 10? 1 is very low, 10 is very high. Where do I stand? And also it will give you something else. If that's not meeting their expectation, what would it take for us to meet their expectations? And so now they'll tell you what else they're looking in your product that will meet their expectation if it's not included. You understand? So this way you don't have to go continue like and try to close in the end, because now you know what they need. So now you go through pane 1, pane 2, pane 3, and if everything meets expectation is great. If there's one of them it doesn't meet, or two of them doesn't meet the expectation, then if you have solution for that, you tell them, okay, you know what, I'm willing to add this to this, and that will solve that problem. Okay, and you can do that right there on the spot, then that's fine. And if it's going to cost more money, tell them, you know, I'm willing to do this for you. However, that's probably going to push you a little bit above your budget that you shared with me. Is that okay? And they said, how much? They said it's going to push you more like $10,000, you know, $10,000 more. Is that would that work? And I'll be able to add this feature in it. They can tell you yes, or they can tell you no. But now you need to address that in each of these panes as you address in them, as you go the one by one. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So now when you're done with this, they say, okay, so everything is fine. This is exactly what you need. And we're going to be able to do that within the budget that you offered us, which is, you know, $200,000. And it's going to, anything else that I'm missing here? Does that look okay? It's like, yes. Okay, good. This is your presentation.